So let's just settle into our meditation posture. So you all know about your feet and your legs. So just make sure they're nicely aligned and you're comfortable. Hands in the meditation mudra. Make sure your pelvic bowl is upright, so it's not tipping too far back, too far forward, too much one side to the other. So you can feel with your sit bones on if you've got them on a reasonably firm surface, whether you've got more weight on one side than the other. So you want to be nicely balanced, sort of evenly balanced weight on your sit bones. And you want them to be a little bit higher than the soles of your feet, if possible. It's just more comfortable. And then imagine your shoulders are over your hips, nicely aligned there, and imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. I've just been pinned, so if you just excuse me for a minute while I unpin myself. Okay. You can imagine someone's above you or behind you, just very gently lengthening your spine. You imagine after all the stresses of the day, all the running around, giving yourself some space in between those vertebrae, the discs, some air. You might be feeling yourself get a little taller. The head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, and they looking along the length of the nose if they were open, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. Let's just bring your mind to the crown of the head. Relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the back of the eye, and the nose, the cheeks, area around the mouth. Relax the back of the head, the occipital bone, that part of the head. And as you think of doing that, just notice your ears relaxing. And if you go into your ear with your mind, relax the inner ear. You will notice your jaw relaxes perhaps. You relax your temples, and the back of the neck, the shoulders, the upper thoracic in between the shoulder blades. Relax your throat and your chest. Your belly, your limbs, the hands, the fingers, the feet, and the toes. And let's just bring our mind to the breath. And notice the sensation of the air as you're breathing in. Slightly cooler than when you're breathing out. So if you have any, so just notice and bring the mind to the breath. Just notice the breathing. If there's any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to go towards the sound with your mind, or push it away with aversion. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in your mind right now. So try not to engage with them. Just allow them to bubble up and to flow. Bring the mind back to the breath as we bring to mind all the people of our life. The ones we love, the ones we care about, the ones we don't love, and then there's our strangers, the ones we have pretty indifferent to. So in your mind, when someone you loved dearly or you care about dearly, who's a good friend to you or part of your family, if they were to get sick, you would be so worried. But if a stranger gets sick, it's like, meh, you're a little bit concerned, of course. It's not the same. And then the enemy probably don't care. It's not the same concern that you have for the person that you care about deeply. But in reality, each of these groups of people deserve your equal concern, your equal care, your equal love. It's just that we don't see it that way. It's hard for us to have kind of true equanimity towards all. But they're all the same in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. And this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. So I just think we're going to do this practice tonight for all the people of our life. By extension, all sentient beings. And again, as I've been doing, let's think particularly of the people in Ukraine right now. Send them our love and our light and our practice. So remember, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we've created all this negativity with our mind. So now we're going to try and create positivity with our mind instead. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and perhaps in any past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all, particularly things we don't remember. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we are going to necessarily experience suffering in the future. And given that the suffering that we do experience now is kind of unpleasant, so we don't want to invite any more into our life. So therefore it makes sense, it's logical, that we would want to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So also regret our delusions, our anger and attachment, our jealousy and bitterness and grudges, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. Then, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us, we purify ourselves by relying upon his methods. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And he's your Guru, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. So your teacher, your Lama, trusted mentor, however you see them in your mind. He's made of blissful, radiant white light, almost like a hologram. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. He has this radiant, and a moon disk. He has this beautiful, radiant, calm, sweet face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you, for all the people of your life. He has no judgment towards you. He accepts you exactly as you are. He meets you where you're at. And he has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. You can also remember here, Vajrasattva has this 5-pointed crown on his head embedded with jewels, and he's wearing jewelry around his neck and his waist and his arms and legs and feet. He's wearing the silken celestial robes in the Royal Indian style. So these are all just kind of floating in space, also light. And he has an aura around his head and around his body. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, this is a little section on compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people that you've harmed recently. It could be the same person you thought of earlier on in the meditation. And perhaps in the past. Was there someone you harmed in the past that you still regret? And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. And it's never going to be clear when that suffering is going to appear in their life. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings. I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we start with the purification of the body. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, sort of like coming from a strong hose or a waterfall. And it's kind of forceful. It comes from his heart, and it arcs around, enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you till eventually it pushes out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so the next is a purification of the speech. And imagine this time Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra again. And it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time, forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And it forces out of the top parts of your body quite forcefully. Lama Rinpoche says almost like a hat being blown off your head. So that you could also imagine like the spout of a whale, dolphin, sort of like that. And so imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying, talking badly about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Zitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible you could do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And so the next is a purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends light beams from his heart chakra. Again, this light sort of arcs around, fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room and you switch, a dark room, and you switch on the light. That light instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. This light from Vajrasattva's heart, as soon as it touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the depression, anxiety, attachment and neediness and anger, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sisame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So we can do a couple of mantras each for each of the visualizations of the body, speech and mind. Or you can just visualize light and nectar pouring into you, flows into you from Guru Vajrasattva's heart, pours into you through the crown of your head and fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sutam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Hanarakta meboa sawasidi mebe yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa. Hanarakta meboa sawasidi mebe yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mebe yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mebe yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Now feel that you are completely purified. Not one atom of negativity is left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. This very important step in this purification process is where we decide not to harm. We just make a decision. With our harming our body, harming with our body, harming with our mind, harming with our speech, harming ourselves with our mind. And without this determination, without this decision, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. We're just going to keep engaging in those habits that we have. Like it comes out of the mouth before we can even stop it. We don't even know it's in the mind, it's out the mouth, and you've harmed someone. And most of us don't go around hitting people or killing people or physically harming people, but we do a lot of damage with our speech. So somehow, maybe we could work on that between now and tomorrow. If there's some habit you have, make a decision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to refrain from doing this thing for 5 minutes, 10 seconds, whatever you can do. So then we can make a vow to ourselves also to make an effort to avoid the other things. So just stick to one thing for tonight. And keep it in your mind and your heart until tomorrow. And you may be only able to refrain from it for, a few seconds at a time. Maybe you can do it for an hour. Anyway, this determination to not do again, or to try to not do again, is what gives us the strength to change. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. And next Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a moment. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can think that perhaps the way I'm seeing things, the way they appear to me, may not necessarily be the same way they're actually existing. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you're the source of all happiness. In Good, where are we? The wish, sorry, wrong prayer. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled, and for LAMA YESHE, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serves as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjanath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Ursul, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe-la, Geshe-sherab, prayer not
I
there.
opened the wrong
You opened the
version.
wrong.
I apologize.
That's okay. We'll just pray for Geshe-sherab's long life. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Thank you very much for hosting. Thank you, Mary, Elizabeth, Kim, and Lorraine. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
By the way, happy Women's Day to all glorious women.
Oh, yeah. Happy Women's Day.
Power to us.
Yeah, exactly. Power to us. Thanks for the reminder. That was Elizabeth, right?
It sure was.